Good morning, children. Today we will continue the lesson Resources and Development. Okay, till yesterday we learn about the soils, right? Types of soils, that is red soil, black soil, alluvial soil, right? Today we are going to learn about the red and yellow soils. Okay. Keep the textbook in front of you. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rocks in area of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. Yellow and red soils are also found in parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the Middle Ganga Plain and along the Piedmont zone in the Western Ghats. These soils develop a reddish color due to diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. See, red soil develops a crystalline igneous rocks in areas of low rainfall, where they are getting very low rainfall in the eastern and the southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. These soils are found there. So these in the southern parts of the Middle Ganga Plain, that is among the Western Ghats also we can see this type of soil. This type of soil is reddish in color due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. It looks yellow when it occurs in the hydrated form. Next we move on to the laterite soil. Laterite soil has been derived from the Latin word later, which means brick. The laterite soil develops under tropical and subtropical climate with alternate wet and dry season. This soil is the result of intense leaching due to heavy rain. Lateric soil are mostly deep to very deep, acidic, generally deficient in plant nutrients and occur mostly in southern state, Western Ghats region of the Maharashtra, Odisha, some parts of West Bengal and northeast regions. Where these soils support deciduous and evergreen forests, it is humus rich, but under sparse vegetation and in semi-arid environment, it is generally humus poor. They are prone to erosion and degradation due to their position on the landscape. After adopting appropriate soil conservation techniques, particularly in the hilly areas of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, this soil is very useful for growing tea and coffee. Red laterite soil in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala are most suitable crops for like cashew nut. See, laterite soil has been derived from the Latin word that is later, meaning that means is brick. So it develops in the tropical subtropical climate. The climate is wet and dry. The climate in the laterite soil is wet and dry. The soil is resulted intense leaching due to the heavy rain. Where they will get the heavy rain, the soil is leaching there, and the soil deep to very deep. That means the landslides may happen because of the heavy rains that we already learnt even in the Coorg, even in some parts of the hilly areas, right? So in the same way, this soil is the sometimes it may be the landscapes. And laterite soil are mostly deep to very deep. So we can see this type of soil in the southern state, Western Ghats regions of the Maharashtra, Odisha and some parts of West Bengal and the northeast regions. Where these soils support deciduous and evergreen forests, it is humus rich but under the sparse vegetation in semi-arid environment. That means this soil is supported even for the deciduous and the evergreen forest. But in spare vegetation, that means rarely vegetation is found there, semi-arid environment due to the humus poor. They are prone to the erosion and degradation due to their position on the landscape. Because of the landscape, the degradation of soil is there. Soil is degradation of soil because of the landscape. After adopting appropriate soil conservation techniques, particularly in the hilly areas of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, this soil is useful to grow for tea and coffee. That means that using some techniques of conservation of this soil, now this soil is useful for growing tea, coffee and in the Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The red laterite soils in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala are more suitable crop like growing the cashew nuts. Is it clear? Shall we move to the arid soils? Arid soil range from red to brown in color. They are generally sandy in texture and saline in nature. In some areas, the salt content is very high and common salt is obtained by evaporating the water. Due to the dry climate, high temperature, evaporation is faster and the soil lacks humus and moisture. The lower horizons of the soil are occupied by conker because of the increasing calcium content downwards. The conker layer formation in the bottom horizons restrict the infiltration of water. After proper irrigation, these soils become cultivable as has been in the case of Western Rajasthan. See, arid soil in the range of red and brown in color. They are generally sandy texture. Okay, that is, they have the saline nature also. In some areas, salt content very high and common salt obtained by the evaporating the water. So, due to dry climate and high temperature, evaporation is faster and the soil lacks humus and moisture. That we know already, right? In the you go to the near the desert areas, so you will get more humidity there, right? So these lower horizons of the soil are occupied the conker because of the increase of calcium content in the content downwards. So after proper irrigation, these soils become cultivable. So proper irrigation, that is getting the water from the soil, but we know that how the Rajasthan was before. No, some of the land are very useful for irrigation also. So after this irrigation, these soil became cultivable and has been in the case of Western Rajasthan. That only I am telling. So in the Western Rajasthan, this soil is useful for the irrigation. Is it clear? Next, we move on to the forest soil. These soil are found in the hilly and mountainous areas where sufficient rainforests are available. The soil texture varies according to the mountain environment where they are formed. They are loamy and silty in the valley sides and coarse-grained in the upper slopes. In the snow-covered areas of Himalayas, these soils experience denudation and are acidic with low humus content. The soils found in the lower parts of the valleys, particularly on the river terraces and alluvial fans, are fertile. Is it clear? See, forest soil, these soils are found in the hilly areas. That is mountains and the forest areas, and the soil texture varies according to the mountain environment where we are found. So in the forest, some areas are mountain, there it is different from the texture of the soil, and they are loamy and silty, the valley sides, the coarse grained upper slopes. In the snow covered areas, Himalayas, these soils experience denudation and acidic with low humus content. The soil found in the lower parts of the valley, particularly on the river terraces and alluvial fans, are fertile. That we know already. The fertile soil where we are getting on the river basins. In the Ganga basin, these basins are very fertile soil, we will get it because all the nutrient of the soil will be flowing towards the basins, right? So now we move on to the soil erosion and soil conservation. Okay. Now we move on to the soil erosion and soil conservation. The denudation, that means making the place empty, of the soil, cover the subsequent washing down, is described as soil erosion. The processes of soil formation and erosion go on simultaneously, and generally there is a balance between the two. That means the soil erosion and the soil conservation, they are simultaneously it is going on that. But we must balance is there. But what we people are doing, humans, sometimes this balance is disturbed due to the human activities. Due to human activities like deforestation, overgrazing, construction, mining, etc. While natural forces like wind, glacier, water lead to soil erosion. The running water cuts through the clayey soils and make deep channels as gullies. The land becomes unfit for cultivation and known as badland. The Chambal Basin, such lands are called ravines. Sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. In such cases, the topsoil is washed away. This is known as sheet erosion. Wind blows loose soil off flat or sloping land known as wind erosion. Soil erosion is also caused due to the defective methods of farming. Plowing in a wrong way, that is up and down, the slope form channels for the quick flow of water, leading soil erosion. See what happens in the soil erosion is, see the denudation, that is I told you make the place is empty. Soil subsequently wash down all the soils from there. So simultaneously soil erosion and the conservation, both are simultaneously it was balanced. But because of our human activities, due to our human activities like deforestation, mining, quarrying and this grazing, all these things, what happened? The soil erosion may happen there. And one more thing, it leads to the, while natural, that is natural disasters, that is strong wind and glaciers and water lead to soil erosion. The floods will, at that time also, soil erosion may happen there. So these are all the natural things. Some are human activities. Both are the reasons for soil erosions. So mining and this quarrying and deforestation, constructions, these are all one reason in the human activities. These glaciers and wind, water lead to the erosion is a natural thing, natural phenomenon. So when the running water cuts through the clayey soil and makes the deep there. Understood? Clayey soil is very sticky, right? So the water flows from there. It will become like a gully, gap there. So this land is unfit for cultivation. And it is also called as a bad land. The Chambal Basin such lands are called ravines. Sometimes water flows as a sheet over a large areas. It is look like a sheet on the down slope. But in such cases, the top soil was eroded. So that is called as a sheet erosion. Is it clear? Wind blows loose soil off flat of sloping land as it is known as wind erosion. Some soil is blowing through the wind. Understood? Moving through the wind. This type of erosion is called as soil erosion, that is wind erosion. Soil erosion is also caused due to the defective method of farming. That is, we should go from ups and downs and ups. Some method is there for plowing, right? If we are using in a different method or if we are using an adverse method, then what happened? There's ups and slope forms, channels will quickly flow water leading to the soil erosion. The proper way of plowing, if it is not happened, that is, if it is plowing in a wrong way, that is also a reason for soil erosion. Is it clear? Plowing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. This is called canter plowing. Steps can be cut out on the slopes, making terraces. Terrace cultivation restricts erosion. Western and central Himalayas have well-developed terrace farming. Large fields can be divided into strips. Strips of grass are left to grow between the crops. This breaks up the force of wind. This method is known as strip cropping. Planting lines of trees to create shelter also works in a similar way. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. These shelter belts have contributed significantly to the stabilization of sand dunes and stabilizing the desert in western India. See, plowing along the canter lines is the decelerate of flow of water down to the slopes. This is called canter flowing. That is the plowing along with the canter lines in the line. So steps can be cut on the slopes, making terraces. That is called, the terrace farming, right? Terrace farming, in picture, you can see that in the picture only. This is called terrace farming. The large field can be divided into strips. This field is divided into strips. This breaks up the force of the wind. When it is going to the strips, it breaks up the wind. The method is known as strip cropping. This method is known as strip cropping. Planting lines of trees create shelter also works a similar way. Planting trees to create shelter also works in a similar way. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. These shelter belts have contributed significantly stabilization of sand dunes. It avoids the sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in western India, where the desert area is there, that will be stabilized. It can be stabilized. Understood? The shelter belts have contributed to the balance, that is stabilization of sand dunes. Is it clear? Thank you, children. Now we have completed geography. So still time is there. So I want to start economics. Right? So we already know that social studies is already divided into 4 parts in 9th and 10th. History, geography, civics and economics. Right?